What is going on out there, peeps? It helps when I put my mic down. Anyways, let's get back into what's going on over there in Iraq. Okay, so I will share something with you here in a moment, but let's get through all of this fun part right here. Hey, you guys should be thinking about buying gold and silver. You need to get something outside of the system. And when you do, go check out our friends over here at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you are a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and get a free half ounce of silver. For those of you who keep asking for my address, there you go. Just pause the video, and there it is. And you guys know I have this alternative website where I talk about things over there that I cannot talk about on YouTube. There are some good information. I've been sharing a lot of information that I think would interest you. Okay, you guys know I have Pimpy's Investment Chat. It is the same name as the YouTube channel. Over here, we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. It's free to join, so come on over there and join us. So, and I have a couple of people that are subscribers, and they literally are in Iraq, and so through WhatsApp, they will send me messages and talk about things from time to time, and we share thoughts and ideas or I'll ask questions. But sometimes if I say something, they'll either confirm it or tell me that's not correct. So I'll come on and make a correction when that happens. So one of them responded that what you said about the bombing of the media is saying that it's Hezbollah, when indeed it was actually the Popular Mobilization Group. He said, no, you're right. They didn't go after Hezbollah, and they went after the Popular Mobilization Group. He says, which is, not a good thing because they're very influential over there in Iraq. And they don't understand why Biden would do this. And my first thought that came to my mind is the fact that they even lied to the American people and said it was Hezbollah and Al-Qaeda tells you that there definitely is always something alternative behind it. The only thing I can think of why they would do that, why would you stir up a hornet's nest, would be if you want them to get upset, go attack American soldiers, then you have an excuse to extend your time out there, or you could cause them to get really upset, which they are, and they are showing in numbers and forces. Unless they're trying to destabilize the country again. Why would you go after that group? There's no reason for it. And they told us there were Hezbollah, ammo depots, and everything else like that. And Al-Qaeda, no, they literally targeted the Popular Mobilization Group. They are a very large armed militia gang that was keeping ISIS out of Iraq. So unless you're trying to help ISIS and Al-Qaeda, there should be a reason for you to bomb the mobilization group. Unless you want them to get pissed off and start causing problems in Iraq, there's no reason for you to be bombing them. So I said, how, with the bombing over there of the Popular Mobilization Group, if my question was, they know it's the United States that did this. How much pressure does this put on Al-Qaeda? Puts a lot of pressure on him, as you can imagine. He's trying to bring stability and peace there. And if the United States is bombing him and then lying to the people over here in America about who it is, that's not good. Unless they purposely are trying to cause problems. So we'll see how this plays out. I told you I was concerned about this. What they're telling us in the media is one thing, and we learn not to trust the media is another. So hopefully it's happened. They made their comments. They made their statements. Let's hope it just stays at that level and does not escalate. So Al-Qaeda is over there in NATO. He's at a NATO meeting. Iraq is the first line of defense against terrorism, and its support must continue. The Iraq Prime Minister Al-Qaeda confirmed on Wednesday that the Iraq represents the first line of resistance in the face of terrorism, while calling on NATO countries to continue assistance in the field of training, armament, and intelligence support. This came during Al-Qaeda's meeting with the permanent representatives of the member state at the headquarters of NATO over there in Belgium. The capital in Brussels and in the presence of the Secretary General of Alliance, Mr. Jens Stoltenberg. So anyways, what Al-Qademi said to the news was joint cooperations with NATO countries as it confronts terrorism, and explained that Iraq's government position on efforts to establish peace and security in the region. Yes, that's what we want, stability. The role of Iraq armed forces of all kinds as they confront terrorism, the first line of resistance in the war against terrorism, ISIS, which is the same terrorism that strikes any city in the world. True. Iraq highly values the role of the alliance in raising the combat level of the armed forces. Continued assistance in the field of training, armament, and intelligence support, as well as Iraq's determination to complete the construction of the security and military institutions. So, this, I heard somebody try to make a case why they should have left Saddam Hussein in charge, because why Saddam was in charge over there in Iraq, he kept everybody in check, all the other countries as well. He kept them all in check. You might not like what he did, but he kept it stable over there. And I thought that was an interesting approach. Look, sometimes you need the boogeyman to keep that entire region in check. Now, I'm sure the people probably wouldn't agree with that. Or maybe they do. Because we've been told a lot of things about Saddam Hussein as well as Gaddafi. Now, I know my friend from Lebanon, she was really upset because she said the stories about Gaddafi are not true. But I never heard anybody ever stick up for Saddam Hussein, though. You know what I mean? So, I mean, at least, that guy controlled the Middle East and he did it really good. So I'm always wondered about that. Because sometimes the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know, if you get my drift. Because it's been so unstable there, and there's a lot of civil wars. How in Libya and Yemen, they have a slave trade going on over there, but nobody talks about it. Yeah, they're selling people into slavery again. So according to the statement of the permanent representatives, the support for the Iraq government's effort to organize early, fair elections, the great openness in Iraq's international relations, especially in the success of Iraq, Jordanian, Egyptian tripartite summit, which was hosted again in Baghdad. So basically what Al-Qademi is saying to them, look, we need to keep it stable. We need to go ahead and develop these countries. We need trade agreements. We need to work together. We need to make sure that the terrorist groups don't get in there. Basically, a lot of the same things. But I'm curious about why they felt the need to go ahead and strike the mobilization or the popular mobilization group and then lie to the American people, which is not unheard of. So the Secretary General of NATO praises the efforts of Al-Qademi and his leadership in Iraq in light of great challenges facing the region. Yeah, it doesn't help when we are over there causing heck. But yeah, we know a lot of the great things that Al-Qademi has accomplished. This is why I was really saddened that, the truth of the matter, he wasn't running again. But I can understand why. If he doesn't have the strong arm to support him and he doesn't feel like he'd get the support he needs, and instead the people, in our current administration would more likely support Iran, then why be in office? All the hard work that you put out there has the possibility, I'm not saying it will, has a possibility of being erased and everything going back to the way it was. Let's hope not. Okay? So I'm not being negative about it. I'm just saying let's be realistic about what's going on out there. So yeah, kudos to Al-Qademi. He was able to get rid of a lot of corruptions, not all of it. Arrest some people, keep it stable there. Develop private projects. So he's done a great job. I just think he needs to be there more because his job's not done. The white paper, 64 projects and the government direction to seek the assistance of international experts. So basically what it goes on here is to talk about what they've done. It's in 2 stages in there. One is get out the plan. The second one is implement the plan. We already know this. This is the white papers include 2 parts. The first part of which deals with the Iraq economic reality and the goals and strategy followed by the government, and the translation of these goals and strategies through the second part issued by the government, and which include the mechanisms and the governance of implementation, in addition to dividing these goals into strategic projects in various ministries. So basically, they got 64 projects they want done. So they want those things done. There's approximately 366 goals within these 64 projects. So I love what they're doing. This almost sounds like they're doing, for those of you who ever did a work project, you know, you have these, what they call milestones. You want to make sure that they get met. So they have some goals that have to be achieved to make sure that there's proper oversight, that these projects are getting done right. Because in the past, when the corruption was there, they would fund all these projects, but either the projects were fake and it never took off, or they were mismanaged and a lot of money was wasted on them. So yeah, again, if you have the right government in there, if another corrupt government gets in there, we're back to square one as far as this is concerned. So that's what they're talking about in a 64-page project. They're just going to make sure there's proper oversight. This is what it's going to take to rebuild Iraq and get it back on its feet, which is great. That's what we want. So anyways, this article just goes on to introduce Robert Palladino, who's the new U.S. Consul General in Erbil. Okay, congrats to him, I guess. I haven't heard nothing really on the guy that I can say good or bad either way. But that's what's going on there, you guys. My only concern that I have right now is we had like almost 2 weeks of just great news. I'm not saying this is negative, but it isn't positive neither. What I'm talking about is this bombing. The fact that we were lied to is not very comforting. The fact that they picked on, of all people, the popular mobilization group, that's not very comforting either. So we'll see where it heads. Right now, it's so far there's no news, there's no repercussions as of yet. We'll see what it leads to, but I still want to feel optimistic. I do. I think Al-Kadhimi was a really good leader. We have a few months with him left in office. Hopefully something will change his mind. But for the most part, things are going in the right direction, and that's what we want. All right? That's all I have to share for now, you guys. Do hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel. I surely do appreciate it. And I'll catch you later. I'm out.